What's up, everybody? It's the son, the war general seasoned in preparation. His jacket is covered in honor medals and decoration. The ANC plotted for a week and then fed you the information. MTN, US, and SA, they bet you take it. But we so thirsty, we bothered making an investigation because if Cyril was telling the truth, I promise he'd have been arrested. We way too famous for the shit to be suggested. Oh, heck yeah, I just made a whole connection. Today, I want to talk about a moment that should give us hope, but also a moment that shows us just how deep the rot goes in our country. So I'm going to give y'all a good meal, but with a sour aftertaste. In August, nearly 2,000 new constables graduated from the South African Police Service, ready to serve and protect, just like we think, because it's the South African Police Service. They're the cops. But the message from the top was less about celebration and more than a brutal reality check, because they do whatever it takes to get to the top. They're cream of the crop. You step up, you're going to get dropped. They're going to keep dropping. They're never going to stop. Even though you try to get to the tip top, they'll make sure you flop. Because the National Commissioner of SAPS at the main parade in Bisho, General Fanie Masimola, gave these new recruits a stark warning, rather. He told them this, and I quote,
You are now entrusted to be the shield between law-abiding citizens and those who wish them harm.
He actually praised them for choosing this noble path, but he also told them that the work ahead is as demanding as it is vital. And he's right. It's an inspiring message. We are told these new officers, a majority of them women, which is amazing, were trained not just in tactics and the law, but also in a way many of our cops haven't been taught in a very long time, values. They learned that the badge wasn't just a badge. It was an ornament of authority and a symbol of responsibility, which is why I freestyled in the beginning, for those of you that think I freestyle for nothing. That's why I said war general seasoned in preparation, jacket covered in honor, medal, and decoration. It's not about that. You need to be seasoned in preparation, because behind all the fanfare and proud families, a different, more serious message was being delivered. And this was one that speaks volumes about the state of our South African police service. In KwaZulu-Natal, the provincial commissioner, Lieutenant General Ncanyana, addressed the 145 new recruits. He warned them. He didn't just talk to them and praise them for passing the test. He warned them that their authority would be tested, especially by corruption. He said that criminals would try to befriend them with bribes, which they will refer to as cool drink for those of you that grew up in the hood and know street slang, but do not accept such. Like how they call cocaine grandpa and actual candy drugs, that type of street slang. Don't do that. Make sure you stay away from that, because before we get to that, I need us to pause for a second, right? Pause. Even you, don't pause the video, just pause. Sit like this, pause. Breathe in, out. Now, listen carefully. Listen
properly.
Like Jacob Zuma. This warning from Ncanyana carries immense weight. This is the very same man who gave a viral media briefing in July, where he went full Cat Williams and alleged that a criminal syndicate had infiltrated the police service itself, like smoke into walls, and that political interference was hampering policing. Those claims were so serious that they led to a formal commission of inquiry and caused the then police minister, Senzo Mchunu, to be placed on a leave of absence. If you don't know who that is, It's that cringe old man who takes pictures with sunglasses with his police badge. So when a top cop like Ncanyana gives a specific warning to new recruits about corruption, criminals, Kenny Kunene, it's not just a generic speech. He didn't just, get a high schooler to write it for him like our president does in his SONA addresses. It is an admission that the problem is so real and so pervasive. It is the first thing they have to warn new officers about. The smoke of Satan has entered our law system. It is a sad reality that the first lesson isn't just how to make an arrest, but how to not become a corrupt cop, because it is as common as every household having Alpani or blue ribbon. The acting police minister, Professor Firoz Kachalia, sounds like a fictional character, also told the new constables that criminals are becoming more organized, more violent, and more daring, maybe even smarter than our law enforcers. In fact, he urged all of them to stand their ground against peer pressure, and told them that corruption, abuse of power, negligence, these things erode public trust and endanger lives. Don't follow the walala wasala mindset. This right here, with me saying this to you, is the ultimate test for our new police officers. Can they resist the very forces that our own top cops have admitted are eating away at the service from the inside? Would you do the same? I mean, you can say, I want to be a good cop, then maybe someday I can be general. And then a top criminal comes to you and offers you 500K to just lie about this one thing in one media briefing. Would you do it? Be honest now. Tell us in the comment section. Because these new constables must remember their training and their oath in these situations, not the cold drink bribes that their leaders warn them about. Would you do the same? Because the safety of your community depends on it. Because we might be very quick to judge, but we must always look in the mirror, ladies and gentlemen, and ask ourselves if me, the pile of meat, bones, and soul, was put in that position, would I have done anything different, especially if my life and my family's was on the line? Would I stay a devoted cop if I wasn't getting paid much? Because you must remember, you could look at the situation in both ways. What both ways am I talking about? The first way is this. This cop arrived 6 hours late to this crime scene. That's one way you could look at it. You could also look at it like this. This overworked, underpaid, unfit family man was so discouraged and yet still decided to arrive to work. Maybe I'm wrong. Tell me what you think in the comment section. Would you Lala and Sala, or would you join the fold? Or, like every other South African, you don't know. Do you also just cross the bridge when you get there? This is the Sambit, and like always, the Truth Report, and I will see you next time.